Hi, I'm Rich Frawley, and I'm the Digital Forensics Specialist with ADF Solutions. Today we're going to be talking about scanning multiple devices. It is possible to scan multiple devices at the same time and have them part of one scan result. But there are some items we need to keep in mind when preparing to scan multiple devices. Are the devices similar, or are we combining computer with mobile? If we're combining, we want to ensure our search profile is properly configured. By that, with our search profiles, we give you default out-of-the-box search profiles for you to use. Quick, intermediate, comprehensive, and mobile. So the quick and the intermediate, you can see here, says use only on the system drive of computers. Okay, these specifically target the directory structure of the computer systems. So if you were to run a quick and an intermediate or even a comprehensive, a lot of the artifacts would not be captured on a mobile device. Therefore, we give you mobile when you're running a mobile device. But in a normal scan, we're usually doing one device, so it's easy to pick a search profile for computer or pick a search profile for mobile. But here I want to do multiple devices, so I have a couple options. I can copy one of these profiles and adjust it, or I can start from scratch with a new profile and create what I want out of each of these scans. So I would need to step through each category and select which items I would like to have parsed out. With that, when you're looking at it, the artifact captures are denoted by the icons. So if I were to choose application usage, I can see that capture is supported on Windows and OS X. So I'm going to be running this against a computer. I'm going to select this one. The installed applications here, this supports Windows, OS X, Android, and iOS. I'm going to want it off of both, so I'm going to select this capture. Any of the keyword searches, any of the hashes, as long as it says comprehensive, it's going to look at the entire file system. It is not targeting a specific directory when it's running. So here, hash sets and user profile would only work on the computer side of the scan, and it would not work on the mobile. So I would want to run my hash set comprehensive. Same with keywords. Choose the comprehensive if you're doing multiple devices that are mixed like this, and stay away from the ones that target a specific directory. Same with your multimedia. Okay, we break down multimedia a lot of different ways for you to search for or to collect. And here, pictures and user profile would only work on the portion of the scan doing the computer. It wouldn't work on the mobile. So here I would want to use one of the comprehensive ones that does not target a specific directory structure. Same with video and anything else that you would want to run. Just make sure that you're picking the ones that would have Android, iOS, and Windows. USB history, obviously that's going to be computer only. Make sure you select it. On my device data, you can see here the operating system information I'm going to get here, device information I'm going to get up here. So once I make those selections, I can save it. And remember, you can also create your own. You could bring in your own keywords, your own hash sets. Just make sure when you do it, you're searching the entire file system if you want it to run against both items and not just a targeted folder. So with that, I have created one for multiple devices, and you can see here all the choices I've made. Here you can see I did choose peer-to-peer, file shares or downloaded. And if it is supported, this will work if it's supported on either computer or mobile. Same with communication. It doesn't need to say iOS or Android. If it's supported on either, it will parse it out of either. So you can see I made all my choices. I saved my profile, and now I want to move on to my scan. I go to Scan Devices and Images, and the first thing I'm going to do is add my phone backup here. So I have a iOS 6. I'm going to select that folder, and now that's part of my target devices. I also have an image of a computer that I want to bring in, so I'm going to go to that location where my forensic image files are saved and pick out that K9 partition. So now I have two targeted devices, the K9 partition from a computer and an iOS Apple logical backup. So I'm going to select my profile, my custom K9 for multiple devices. I'm going to give it a name. And here I suggest we use the labeling for ease of sorting or filtering our information when we're in the analysis portion. So here you can see this is my computer K9 partition, so I'm going to name that K9 partition, and here I'm going to name this one the iPhone. Once that's set, I start my scan, and we are off to the races. Okay, now that my scan is done, I can come into my results and look at my summary page, and if I look down the bottom, here are my two target devices. You can see I had that EO1 forensic image file of a K9 partition, and I had my iPhone backup that we also scanned. And you can see the labels. This one was named K9 partition, this one was named iPhone. So from here, easily I can go into my device information for my iOS and read all that information here. I can come back out and go into my operating system information. So this is the information on my computer side. These are pretty simple for you to go through and do your analysis. Let's say I want to get into my pictures and I want to just see the pictures that were on either one of the devices and not have them both together. You can see we do deduplicate by hash here. I'm just going to turn that filter off. And you can see I have 14,372 images. If I go into filter and I look at path, and I'm just going to collapse here, you can see my two labels here. So I have the K9 partition and the iPhone partition. If I only wanted to see the images from the iPhone, I would select that, hit apply, and now I'm only looking at images from that iPhone. So there was 7,794 out of the 14,000. I can turn that filter off, go back in, and quickly change that. Over to the K9 partition, hit apply, and now I am looking at 6,578 images out of the 14,000 from the iPhone. We can do that within any one of the tables that we're in. So I can come into video. Again, I can go into my path, and I should have those two labels, K9 partition and iPhone. If I come into my keywords and go into my filter and path, you can see here when I collapse it, I only have the K9 partition. That means that out of all the keywords I ran, there were none found on that mobile device. They were all on the K9 partition. If I come into my connection log, again, here it's a little different. It's going to look at the source. So this was an artifact that was pulled regardless of whether it was computer or mobile, and here it's telling me it has results from the Apple iOS or Microsoft Windows. I would select which ones I wanted to sort, and now I'm only looking at my Apple iOS connection log. So whenever looking at this information in any of the tables that you are in, it's going to give you the ability to sort based on either your label or the source. Hope this gave you a little high overview of how scanning multiple devices works and how you can speed your analysis using that. That's all for this video. Thank you for your time.